see what we can do in Premiere to pull this key. Now, yes, it is possible to pull keys in Premiere relatively well. Now, it's nothing like After Effects, but depending on your project and the output and the speed at which you have to turn the thing around, you can use Premiere for reasonable results, especially if it's going to be the final output of the video is going to be fairly small. So let me trim up this. We'll get rid of the original clip and we'll use this Apple ProRes clip. Now, to start, we want to clean up these edges here where we shot more screen than we needed to. And what I like to do is clean up my comp here because this bothers me. I right click, go to delete tracks, and I just delete the empty stuff that I'm not using. And so what we need is something called a garbage mat. And we're going to use an 8-point garbage mat. What a garbage mat does is basically mask out or tell this video layer what portions to include and to exclude. So if we click on the effect, we can see these little handles here. If we drag these out, you can see what's going to happen. Now this is kind of a crude way to do it because you don't get any curves. It is really literally garbagey, just basic, bare bones, but it will work for this effect, for this chroma key example. Basically, we're just selecting those regions. And there, now if we click off of it, we can see that these areas now are going to be transparent because we've kind of clipped them out of this frame. And everything in here is what we need to deal with. Now, technically, for chroma keying footage, you only really need green around just the edge of the thing that you need to cut out. So we may not need any of this, but we'd have to watch the whole footage and make sure like, oh, my hand goes up there. So actually you would need it. So, I mean, technically you can mat out really precisely where you need to. And that's almost like rotoscoping where you're basically tracing the sections that you want in and out. And you can do that, and that will probably make the process a little bit easier, but let's see what we can get away with just using the stock plugins in Premiere. So if you have a relatively current version of Adobe's Premiere Pro, you will have a plugin called Ultra Key, and we're going to apply that to this clip. We're just going to put it below the garbage mat. We have a couple of different options here. We have the output. You can look at the alpha or the color channel. Right now, we're just going to leave it on composite. And we have some settings. We have default, relaxed, aggressive, and custom. We'll get to those in a minute. And then we have some different twirl downs here to help us clean up our key. Now, we're probably not going to deal with color correction so much because we can do color correction a little bit more precisely using some different plugins. So right now, we're just going to look at matte generation, cleanup, and spill suppression. So here's what you want to do. You take the little eyedropper and you can pick a color. And there you go. Now, you can see that we kind of have some dirty edges. We go to 100% here. It's kind of freaking out here along this edge. And we're getting some noise down here. So kind of an easy way to view that is if we switch this to the alpha channel, because this is going to give us a black and white representation of what's happening with this key. The areas that are white are the areas that are going to be completely opaque, and the areas that are black are going to be completely transparent. Any gray type shades are going to be semi-transparent, and we don't really want that in the vast majority of this image. So let's check out some of these settings to combat that. Right away, you can kind of click through these different kind of preset settings. You can see aggressive gets rid of just about everything. Custom, relaxed, default. I believe custom is the same as default until you change it. Now, what you want to kind of pay attention to is how much it's killing the screen and what it's doing to the edge of the key. Let's check out relaxed and go back to default. Okay, so it's not really doing a whole lot of different things here to the edge of my head. If we go to aggressive and then back to relaxed, it definitely is. What you can see is it's clipping in, which means it's pushing in the amount of transparent into your subject here. And it's also making the edge harder than it normally looks. We go back to the composite here and let's just switch between these. See, it's getting rid of a lot of that green, but it's also really getting kind of a hard edge. Now, a hard edge is not a super pleasing look on a key, but depending on your output type situation, this might be appropriate and it might work for you. Let's just pull in a background shot here. Here we go. This is just a little bit of footage that I rolled outside one day. Unlink it, kill the sound. And also I will trim it up to about here. See, when I shot this little footage, it just started to rain. And so you can see right about here, I went to put my lens cap on, but then decided maybe I should just roll a little bit more. But I ended up ruining the clip, so just trim up the beginning here. Then we'll select video 1. You can copy it, go to the end, and then paste it just a couple times. Okay, that was way too many. So now we get 2 clips here, and then we'll select both of these, right click on them, and click Nest.